Hello, everybody, to all our followers of ESCplus. I'm here with Gustaph. He's going to represent Belgium in the Eurovision Song Contest 2023 in Liverpool. And first of all, Gustaph, how are you?
I'm very good, thank you. Busy but blessed, as they would say.
I think you have like a pre-party coming up, or have you done all the pre-parties already?
No, we've done Barcelona, which
Oh,
was
yeah.
2 weeks ago. We did the first one, which is lovely. And this weekend I'm off to Madrid, and then next weekend we are in Amsterdam.
hmm Oh, and then we're going to see each other again in Amsterdam, in real
Oh,
life this time around.
wonderful. That's cool. That's wonderful.
So you say you're busy, you are fully booked, I guess, the upcoming weeks with rehearsals and everything going on. Um, yeah, how is that for you to, because it's not the first time you're in Eurovision. Well, before
No.
you were there as a backup singer, but you were there.
Mhm.
Um, how is it to be the main character this time around?
Well, it's very lovely because it's nice to be able to portray your own message and to kind of delegate what you want to do. And I have the big plus, I believe, that I'm surrounded by fellow artists, but mostly fellow friends.
Mhm.
So it's very nice to share that with people you actually love and you've known for years and years. Yeah, and I feel like we've created a very strong team around me. The VRT is really up for what I want to do, so I'm very positive going forward from now on to Liverpool.
Is there anything you can reveal maybe about your act? I guess everybody is asking you that, but
Yes, but and
yeah.
that's fine. It's fine. And actually, I can reveal some things, but some things I cannot reveal because then I will have a death warrant on my head from the VRT. So let's not do that right now. But what I will say is going to be much more dynamic than what we did on national final. National final was, we were confined to our little stairs thing that we created, which was lovely. But I think for Liverpool, it needed to be elevated. So there's going to be a lot more stuff happening on stage dynamically. There will be three backing vocalists there instead of two.
Mhm.
And the third one that will join us, so you have Monique Harkum and Chantal Caschala. They were there for the national final, and they will be joined by Sandrine van Handenhoven, which is a very famous singer here in Belgium and a great friend of me and my husband's. And she actually sang backup for the record, but
Okay.
she couldn't do the national final because she had a prior engagement.
hmm
She was free for Liverpool, so we asked her to join, and she's going to join us. And therefore, there's going to be a different dynamic because now we have like a three sisterhood kind of thing
hmm
with the backing vocalists, and there will be more interaction between me and them as well on stage. And the blueprint of the visuals will definitely be there as well. So the idea of this kind of like early 90s influenced video will be there. There will still be elements of drag and ballroom culture, and there will be a bit more interaction between me and the
Okay.
visuals as well. And I think that's as far as I can go without getting death threats from the VRT.
And for the Belgian followers of ESCplus, most of them will know Sandrine, who you
Yes.
just announced as a backup
Yes.
singer from her participation in the national final a couple of years ago.
Yes.
Remember, her song is called what's
Feel,
called I Feel the Same
I
Way,
feel the
right?
same way.
Yeah.
Yes, that was, yeah, yeah, yeah.
How is it for her to actually move on this time around to the grand
I,
stage of Eurovision?
Yeah, she's the funny thing is, but she's very. I love her to bits, but she can sometimes. I think sometimes she doesn't know how amazing she is because I told her, I said there are people because I once said it in one interview that maybe she would come along in the beginning when I just won the national final, and it started following me and her. Like people were from Spain, from France, from Italy were
Mm-hmm.
texting, it's Sandrine from I Feel the Same Way. Is she gonna join you? Is she gonna join you? And I told her like you don't realize how much of an impact you made with the national final so many years
Mm-hmm.
ago. There are people in Europe who are like happy you're gonna be on the Eurovision stage now, and I don't think she understood how deep that love goes with Eurovision fans.
Mm-hmm.
Like for me, it's not a because I've been a fan for so long.
Mm-hmm.
I know the community is very almost statistically following everything in every
Mm-hmm.
country. And I don't think she was aware of that. And I think it makes her feel very good that she, even though she didn't go for as the contestant, she still made an impact with just the national final, which I think is a testimony to her artistry and how good she is. So I think for her, it's a very positive experience as well to do this, because she gets love from people like you who still remember her.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. I saw the music video and I was like, oh, that's Sandrine, you know?
Yes,
Immediately
yes.
I saw her. It's great. Yeah, you all also in the previous interview you told that the people on stage are actually your friends. Like I believe the visuals are being done by your husbands.
Yes,
How
correct.
is it to work together with people that are so close to you and actually um doing the road to Eurovision together?
Like I said, it's really beautiful, because it is, it is a pressure cooker. You cannot underestimate the fact that this is something that I will, you only probably will do once in a lifetime, and you have to really make sure everything is right for 3 minutes on stage. It's insane how much work goes into months and months for every contestant. Months and months of work goes into 3 minutes. So that becomes sometimes a bit of that can be stressful, of course. And I think that I'm surrounded by so many friends and by my own husband makes it very different, because they're the kind of people who will put me at ease and who will make me feel like I got you. I have your back. I'm with you on stage. Everything will be fine. And it's a great learning curve for me as well to trust everyone around me. And not that I didn't trust them, but it proves that sometimes when you have the negative voice in your head and there's a bit of paranoia, which can happen, they're the ones that will tell you, oh, let go of that shit. That's not for you. You just focus on what you have to do. And that's really beautiful. I even remember one rehearsal we were doing, I think last week. I just got very emotional in the middle of the song. I started crying, but it was tears of joy. It was really like, because I was, you're rehearsing, you're focused on doing the best job you can do, but it's a lot of pressure. And all of a sudden I had this moment of like, I'm surrounded by people I love and they're amazing. Look at them, they're amazing. And I just started crying because it was just like a feeling of, you're blessed. No matter what, you're blessed, Steph, to do this with your friends. I don't think a lot of people can say that in this experience, that you get to be on stage with your best friends. So I truly see that as a blessing, and I'm very grateful for that.
That's great to hear. Yeah, because sometimes we hear stories about people just being there with people they don't know or haven't met before, and then the experience will be different because you do not know what to share and who to trust. Yeah,
that is very true. That is very true. That must be a very hard experience if it's like that, for sure.
Talking about the maybe difficult part or the hard part of Eurovision, there is social media there. There are lots of things to read, positive and negative, because like Eurovision fans can also be negative now and then. Do you like read a lot of comments? Do you dive into social media to see where you are, maybe like where you're ranking with the fans, or are you just like, okay, I'm going to do what I need to do?
Well, to be honest, I think it's somewhere in the middle. I don't actively like go out and search for it, because that would be a bit too self-indulgent anyway. But of course I'm on Twitter and I see what people write, and I think in the beginning it was sometimes hard, because of course any national final, I'm assuming, will be polarizing and will create favorites. And of course, I really understand completely that if your favorite didn't go through, that you're frustrated. And I think you're allowed to vent about your frustration. The only thing where I draw the line is when it becomes personal. That's something I don't enjoy. I feel you can tell me you don't like the song, that you don't like the staging, because that really is about taste. But when it becomes about my sexuality, or it becomes about my personality, it becomes about how I look, then I think it's unfair, because that's not how you should react to these kind of things. But what's also positive is I do see there's like, because sometimes I see people tagging me and stuff, I do see a switch in the way people are looking at the song. A lot of people are saying like, I never thought I would like the song 1 month later, or I can't get the song out of my head and it's a bop. So I'm also like, it's kind of the evidence about those national finals. People need some time to just digest everything. Take a minute and breathe. It's all good. And then they realize, actually, it's a good song. I like this, and I like the message of the song. So the good thing for me is when you see what happened from that moment and where we are now, it's a beautiful transition, and people are understanding the song. It's a much more positive vibe. So it is what it is. Social media is always a bit of a double-edged sword. But I do, and also think I'm at an age and an experience where I also really can interpret those things. It's not like, I mean, how do you say? It doesn't take away from my vision, and it doesn't take away from the purpose that I have here and what I have to do for this song and for my country. It will never take away that purpose. They can try, but it will never take away my strength and my vision for the song. So, you know, that's just how it is.
Yeah, and talking about the vision of your song, you know, the song is called Because of You. I remember in a previous interview that you also talked about like the morale of the song. Do you think that the morale is understood, that it is conveyed well, maybe in performance, maybe in the lyrics, people start to connect to it in a certain way?
Yeah, I have to say and that's what I say. I really feel this change. Like the last month, I got a lot of messages, which was lovely from people and from all over Europe and all over the world, even where they connect with the song and it gives them. A lot of people tell me like when they have a bad day, they put on the song, they feel like self-empowered. I'm like, that's why I wrote the song. It was really for me, even a song I wrote to feel like I can be proud of who I am. And I'm gonna thank the people who brought me to where I am right now. And there's been a couple of people who said they did their coming out to their parents because they felt empowered by the song's message. So that's a beautiful thing to read. And that really makes me very happy that the song does convey the right energy to people. Yeah, but apart from that, I also thought people were like, "Oh my God, this song is my bop. I just want to dance. I want to go to the gym and work out on the song." It's all good as long as you connect to the song. I'm very happy, and it's beautiful to see that is happening with the song.
Yeah. And it's also good to see you also said like before people might have reacted different on it, but I also think like Eurovision about context, you know, you see like one song and the other songs are not chosen yet. And then when you put it in perspective, you know, or you listen like the whole playlist of Eurovision in Spotify, that, you know, ideas might change.
Yes.
Which is a good thing. You talked also like earlier on in this interview about a learning curve. What do you think is the most important thing you learned up to now, except for like sharing with your friends and like sharing the experience?
Well, there's two things that come to mind. I think one is the most important one is stick to your gut is what I've really learned. Is like stay true to your almost primitive feeling about music and what you have to do on a stage. And I think that was also evident on the national final, where I think I wasn't particularly the favorite, but because of the performance, something happened in that. Because I remember it happening, like, oh, people like this song, what the hell? So that was what happened there. And two is, and I say this a lot to people, I think it also proved the point. It's not a saying that I invented. I don't know who invented it, but they say kindness is the highest form of intelligence. And I think kill them with kindness is something that I will stick to for the rest of my life, because I don't really feed into the negative, and I don't feed into clapbacks and all that kind of stuff. I think being kind to each other is truly the highest form of intelligence, and that's what I really want to stick by.
Yeah, and I have to say I'm glad that you're saying that, because we were there during the national final in Brussels, and I remember that a lot of people might have had like different people they wanted to win. And then like you were there on stage, you know, doing your thing, then during like the small interviews, or maybe even like the camera standpoints they did during the national final, that perspective might have changed. So yeah, I think that's a good thing. And also that, you know, kind of how to react on that, and indeed with the kindness thing you mentioned earlier on. What would it mean, like a totally different question, but what would it mean to you to win Eurovision?
Oh my God, they're gonna have to like, I have a heart attack, they're gonna have to pump me back to life if that would happen.
I remember that face when you won the national, so maybe that face makes a return.
Yeah, I'm sure it will. I'm sure it will. Yeah, this is something I find hard to even deal with, but it would be incredible. And the most beautiful thing would be that there would be a song about self-acceptance and about, you know, unification. If that kind of song could win a Eurovision Song Contest in these troubled times, I think that would be a beautiful thing. I will tell you that.
And okay, in case you do not win, do you have like Do you have like a country that you're like rooting for?
I have a lot of them, and it's every year the same. I know, but it's 'cause as a fan, and maybe you have the same thing. You start out with favorites, and then you see performances, and you hear the song more, and all of a sudden you like every song, even the ones you're like, oh, I don't really care about this one, and then all of a sudden you sing it. But what I will say again, with my first instinct, I immediately connected to Evidama by Lazada. I always say to people, for me, it's like Edith Piaf going to Studio 54. It's like such an incredible combination of elements because it has this chanson vibe, but it's super sassy and disco-y. And I love her presence. I love her voice. Yeah, so I think that's the first one I think of, but I immediately go to, like, for example, I saw Mimikat from Portugal perform in Barcelona, and I already love the song, but there's, again, what I said about the guttural, primitive thing. Then you see her perform live, and she's all alone, and she blows the whole stage away. She was incredible. So I think for me, when I say favorites, I'm gonna have to wait until I'm there, because it's always the same with Eurovision. Then they perform, and everything changes.
Yes, true.
So I'm still gonna keep my favorites until I'm there for the semifinals. You know.
So me being from the Netherlands, I cannot ask you what do you think of the Dutch song?
Of course, of course. Well, I have to say it's really a song that grows as well, because I hear the Duncan Lawrence influence, because it's a power ballad, and that's something that he's super good at, and I hear the melancholic sadness that is really something that is beautiful in the song. I think their voices are very beautiful together. I can't wait to see how that will translate in a live version. And it's also a kind of song that's very layered. I think you understand much more of the song the more you hear it. So it's definitely a grower for me as well. And I think it's going to do very well for the Netherlands.
Great to hear. Great to hear from me. What are your plans for after Eurovision? Is there already like I don't know, a schedule or a perspective?
Yes, well, I mean, there is. I'm going to be touring a lot this summer, mostly in Belgium, but also a couple things in the Netherlands already that I can't tell you too much about. But I will be in the Netherlands for sure.
Mind it.
So, and also we're talking about with some other countries, especially for prides and stuff, because that's really something I feel very strongly about. And I actually wrote this song with Jawad Alul, my fellow queer artist. We wrote that song initially like we wanted to have it played on prides and in gay clubs, but it also could be played, you know, for your aunt who's cleaning the house, for example. So that's why I'm saying I also would love to do some prides, because it's something that I really feel strongly about. So yeah, I think it's going to be a cool summer. And then after the summer, yeah, I'm already thinking about releasing some new tracks, and also thinking about doing maybe some interesting Eurovision covers. That's something that's kind of up in my head. So yeah, I'm going to definitely keep busy, and I definitely want to keep the momentum going for me.
Okay, good. And maybe Sandrine will be involved somewhere in there.
Well, we did a tour last year together, and we were gonna actually start a Marvin Gaye tribute tour in Belgium, but because of Eurovision, we had to unfortunately postpone that one. So next year, I will be performing with her to redo the tour for the Marvin Gaye tribute with her.
Okay,
so
cool.
She's one of my best friends. She's always in my house, so you know we'll work together.
Great to hear, and great that we are going to see more of you even after Eurovision, which is always a good thing. You know, and like we saw in the last couple of years, you do not have to be the winner of the contest to make it big in Europe and beyond. Yeah, is there anything, Gustaph, that you would like to mention or that we missed in this interview?
No, not really. I think we covered a lot of ground. You're a very thorough interviewer, so I think that's fine. I just want to, what I can say is thank you again for, you know, what you do and what your viewers and listeners do for Eurovision, because I think it's still a very special contest that's unique, not in Europe, but in the world. And it's people like you and your followers that actually are the biggest contributors to keeping this kind of contest alive. So I thank you for putting all that time and effort into this Eurovision Song Contest, because it really is a difference for all of us.
Thank you. Yeah, it's true. It's all about the community and, you know, being united by music. So that's the best slogan ever, I guess. Well, then, Gustaph, I would like to thank you for this interview. We're going to see each other in person in Amsterdam. I will be there. And yeah, best of luck with all your endeavors and
Thank you
things
so
that are
much.
coming up in the next couple of weeks.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
See you soon. See you in Amsterdam.
See you. Bye. Bye.
Bye.